They've had 2 weeks to prepare for this, having lost at Hull KR in their last match. They were 34-0 down at half-time. They won the second half, okay, 18-10, but the damage was well and truly done by then. Richard Silverwood is the man in the middle. And Steve-o, this is a big night for Widnes. Kevin Brown's arrival alongside Gareth Hock. You never know what might happen.
Yes, obviously, Dennis Betts, the Widnes coach, he'll be very pleased indeed that the playmaker, Kevin Brown, and this fella, Gareth Hock, the combination of these two should add a wonderful boost for the Widnes side. We know their qualities. We know their ability to be able to offload the ball, especially Brown, and get the three-quarters moving. But here we are, ready for the big off.
Yes, all ready to go. Joe Arundel just making sure that the ball is positioned perfectly on the kicking tee. Richard Silverwood blows the whistle. We are underway. And that's a great kickoff. That is a tremendous kickoff and immediately causing them problems.
Oh, he's in touch as well.
It was Paddy Flynn. He got a hand, he got a foot to it, knocked it forward, and a great chase from Kirk Yeaman and co.
This is just what the doctor ordered, especially if you're a Hull fan. Well, was there dragging there? I thought that would have been outlawed. That looked as though there was a drag. He's confused.
Not only have they dragged him, I think they've actually lifted him, haven't they? Because doesn't his body touch the floor? His backside's on the floor. They've lifted him off the ground and carried him over the sideline. Yeah,
they're looking to get away with that one, but they won't be complaining, that's for sure. Hull are the side that need to get off to a flying start. They often just go to sleep for periods during the 80 minutes. Trouble is, that period can last anything up to 15 minutes. Can't afford to do that.
This is Richard Horne, and Richard Horne trying to go on the inside of Gareth Hock. He gets so far, and then he is grounded just 3-4 metres maybe away from the goal line. It's with Houghton who gets it away to Westham, and the ball has hit the ground, and Widnes have got it back.
It's a knock-on. It was a Widnes hand that came out there, and this should be head and feet to the visitors, and it is. Home crowd don't like it, but Richard Silverwood was Johnny on the spot. See quite clearly there. It was Kevin Brown that got the left hand to it. Yep.
They say in sport you have to ride your luck, but you also have to take your chances. Inside the first 2 minutes, they've had the bounce the ball go in the favour of the Hull side, and I guess they would want to capitalise and settle the confidence by scoring from this scenario.
Great pressure from Hull FC then against this Widnes defensive line. It really is. They haven't had the ball in their hand yet, Widnes. They should have had from the kick-off, but they didn't. Good hand movement here. It is Richard Horne. Oh, they're certain to be in. And Joe Westerman gets Hull off to a blistering start. The kick-off was wonderful. It was fumbled by Paddy Flynn, really, not trapped properly. They got the possession from that because they bundled Paddy Flynn into touch. Maybe there's a question mark whether that should have been allowed. But then they got more possession from the scrum, and Westerman over for the first try. They've started Hull FC like a house on fire.
Yeah, they got away with it with the kick-off. This is the incident there. And to me, that's dragging. That should not have been allowed. According to the interpretation, this is the knock-on by Kevin Brown, the left arm certainly coming through. Again, a big decision for the official. That's a good offload. Once you get the numbers, there was never anyone going to stop this fella. Even they tried to take Westerman's head off in the process. Good offload, Mark O'Malley. He'll be happy. Had a fractured season, did Mike O'Malley. Too many injuries, but he's back to best form. Can Westerman add to his try?
2 tries in 2 weeks for Joe Westerman now, and successful with the boot, and Hull lead by 6 points to 0.
Well, they've shown the advantage of that field position now, and then when you get an offload and 3 quick passes close to an opponent's try line, it's very hard to prevent the points being scored. And Joe Westerman knows from the lessons learned last week, they need to convert opportunities into points here tonight to make their life a little easier.
Rhys Hanbury then restarts. 3.5 minutes gone. Widnes still haven't had the ball in their hands yet. That's a better chase, though, led by Ben Cross and Eamon O'Carroll. Dennis Betts, it's not the best start to the match. And lots of pressure, of course, because Kevin Brown is out there, because he's linking up with Gareth Hock for the first time. Wants to get Widnes off to a great start in the Brown era. But at the moment, 6-0 down.
Well, I'm sure that Dennis Betts, the Widnes coach, will have queried that decision, because it looked quite obvious, Eddie, that they lifted the man and dragged him away. You're not allowed to do that in the interpretation of the rule.
Do you know what, though, Steve? Well, they can't keep going back to that now. They've got to play what's in front of them, and what's in front of them is a good Hull FC side. And all the expectation, as we were talking about pre-match, from Kevin Brown. Kevin Brown just needs to guide his troops, and this is just a little effort that Widnes need. They come up good with some decent shots, and then the mistake from Hull FC.
I think Hull are appealing that the ruck hadn't been cleared.
Well, does it come off the back of the foot here of Cameron Phelps?
Well, he's gone down injured as Phelps. He's not 100% there, and Rundle certainly is claiming that he was interfering. Is it a bit of cramp, or no? It looks like the knee joint.
Yeah, I think there's a problem with the knee.
Well, he's picked up an injury, but most important, I suppose, is that Widnes, see how he gets in the way. And, oh, look how he's twisted that. The studs got caught on this artificial turf and twisted. This could be a big problem.
Well, they've given the thumbs up, and again, the trainer gives the thumbs up to the bench. He's okay. So the scrum will go down, and Widnes head and feet as a result of the knock-on. Here is Patrick Arvan.
Good tactic, that. Dennis Betts utilises that. He's a big unit, Patrick Arvan. Takes the first run off the scrum base.
Well, he's like an additional forward, isn't he, in that situation? Here is cross. That was Cahill, got it to Brown. Brown then looks for the link, and it's Hanbury. And Hanbury taking on Yeeman. That's a good run. Ball flicked back inside, somehow flicked again. Gareth Hogg picks it up. Richard Whiting picks him up. And a penalty here, but it's to Hull FC.
Well, he just became over-aggressive, didn't he? He didn't like the fact that Richard Whiting went over the top and then had a lash with his shoulder, actually, at Whiting. Well, he just completely lost the plot. Was he in touch? Yes. Or no. Either way, difficult for the touch judge. You couldn't perhaps blame him. Well, a big error. Big mistake by Gareth Hogg there, right in front of the official.
This is Whiting now, looking for the short ball to Galea. Good hands from Ben Galea. He got the offload away. And Houghton from dummy half gives it to Andy Lynch. Lynch running at this Widnes defence. Down he goes on the third tackle. Midway inside the Widnes half of the field. They go down the short side here with Seymour. Bit of a loose pass. It found its way to Galea somehow. Now Lynch will take it forward again.
They're setting up for the kick here. No, they've offloaded. That's sheer panic.
They managed to retain possession, though, in Houghton.
It needs to have some height, this. Oh, they've gone on the blind side.
And it's Seymour with the kick into open space. That will stand up. And the referee has given a penalty for an incident off the ball, a shoulder charge by Het Cahill, he's saying.
Well, I think it's further downfield, yeah. You can see Het Cahill came in very, very late with a shoulder charge. He could have pulled out of that. Well spotted by Richard Silverwood.
Well, Dennis will be upset from all of a sudden being in Hull FC's half. They've now conceded 2 penalties, and they conceded the penalty when they had the ball, and that's criminal from Gareth Hogg.
It is, and the last time they were so close at the start of a set of 6 here, Hull's hands produced the opening for the first try of the match from Westerman, by which they lead 6 points to 0. Houghton has a scamper, short ball to Galea, and he is halted. With a very good tackle, and it had to be as well. Houghton, Lynch again. Back it comes, looking for the runners. Richard Horn loops the pass out wide. Here's a Lynham. Great defence.
It had to be as well, because this youngster, Tom Lynham, he was not going to hang back. He was going into the corner.
That's a payback by Gareth Hogg.
It certainly is. It was a wonderful pass, and look at Hogg coming out. He read it well. The impact on the shoulder. But full credit to Tom Lynham. I love to see wingers just say, listen, I'm going to test myself. I'm going to go in the corner.
Steve-O, the little 1%ers them in the games, the little extra efforts that you do. Gareth Hogg knew that he made a mistake by giving that penalty away, and he had to come up Trump's third and save that try.
Come on, lads, we go.
Well, Phelps has obviously got a problem, and it needs a strapping, that knee, just to give it a little bit of extra support. Seemed to crumple, didn't he, in the when he's trying to get up off the floor in the tackle.
Yeah, he got it caught on the turf. That is for all the, well, I suppose you call it synthetic turf these days.
Eddie, it might be a little early in the season to make this comment, but a witness appear from what we've seen in the opening 10 minutes to improved upon last season. The brilliant tackle from Christine you identified on the far side of the field, and then the effort from the team to prevent Lynham scoring. Maybe last season the Widnes side couldn't prevent points being scored. Tonight we've seen they are capable of that. For how much longer?
Widnes crowd are on the back of the referee. He's blown a few penalties for Hull already. They want one for their team, for the Vikings.
That was a bad miss there by Andy Lynch. He went with the shoulder, completely left a huge gap. This is the high one, but I think it's a touch too far. It is.
Easy for McDonald.
Yeah. Interesting to see that the Hull side, Coach Peter Gentle, is obviously picked out. Kevin Brown, remember, he hasn't played for such a long time. He's a little bit rusty, and they're pinpointing. I mean, Kevin Brown is standing on the left-hand side in defence, and that's where Hull will be pinpointing that attack.
No, I think Kevin Brown's going to see plenty of work tonight defensively. Here is Whiting. Whiting tries to bounce away from Eamon O'Carroll. He's got round the legs by Het Cahill, dumped to the ground with a bit of help from Gareth Hock as well. Houghton gets the ball then to Seymour, and there's a little miscommunication there because Hull went without it. McDonald manages to hold on to the ball on the ground. This is the last tackle here now. And the kick from Houghton, no, well, yes, and he shaped and then he dummied, and it's not the best kick. And Hanbury trapped it. Catalan are fighting back in the south of France, 12-16 half-time. 16-0 down they were. Here goes Arvan again.
Eddie, you can sense why the Widnes fans are upset by that. You can see that when they get into the tackle, Westerman actually held him down, looked at the official, said, "You're not going to penalise me." He's got to sort this out, is Richard Silverwood. It's very scrappy indeed.
John Clark, the Widnes skipper, gets the ball away. That's a great tackle by Seymour. Tremendous tackle on Joe Mellor. It's Brown again, he gets it wide. He finds Stefan Marsh. Marsh then flicks the pass to Paddy Flynn. We're up to the last tackle already. It's being played at a rip-roaring pace, this game. And Brown comes back as he lost the plot. He has. And it's been picked up by Briscoe. Now Tom Briscoe is quick. They don't want to stand off him. He did well in the end. Hanbury did well in the end. But look where they are.
Oh, they've got the overlap.
Westerman goes back in the middle of the field, gets the ball away loosely, and Widnes have it back to them now. Or have they? The two 14s, Mellor and Whiting scrambling for the ball, and Mellor gets the nod.
Do you know, that's brilliant defence, that. Rhys Hanbury, he held off then, he didn't commit to Tom Briscoe when he's brought the line. And then this offload, just look at the urgency from Joe Mellor to pounce on this ball and come up again with a little try-saver for the Vikings. Good play, Joe Mellor.
Where do we all sit, by the way? There's another number 7 here playing full back for Widnes tonight. We had Johnny Lomax. Let's have a look at this. It's a 40-20 from John Clark. Just back to that point. Half-backs are suddenly the new full-backs. Like 60s are the new 40-year-olds.
Steady. Well, it gives them the freedom to just go out there and play, doesn't it? But look at this. They've started the game very strongly. Although they're behind on the scoreboard, they come up with a player like that. When they start to play on the front foot, any team can be dangerous. But the likes of Rhys Hanbury, you've already seen before, Eddie, that when he gets the ball, he can come into the line whenever he wants. Kevin Brown can do all the organising along with Joe Mellor, and it gives him that freedom to do what he wants.
But you've got to say that when Tom Briscoe got that ball in open space, why on earth didn't he just get into top gear and go straight on? He stepped, he looked, he tried to go around it. He had an open space in front of him.
Well, they've been chancing their arm at Hull FC in these tackles, trying to slow Widnes down, and the referee's patience has finally snapped. You know, when I mentioned the full-back and the half-back, I thought you would have been sorry about that, because you've always lamented the fact that hookers now don't appear in the game.
Steady.
Hooker, you say, is a
steady down. He's another half-back. They don't have hookers, simple as that.
Well, they're sometimes not having full-backs now. They've got half-backs playing full-back. Cameron Phelps in the centres has dropped it.
Oh, what on earth is he doing here? He's got back to
he's going to bring it back.
Yeah.
He's going to bring it back.
Crowd has gone absolutely crackers here. Patrick Arvan thought he'd scored, but it has to go back to
He's spot
the first
on.
incident.
He's spot on because the knock-on is by
It's a knock-on.
Phelps.
Yeah.
If Hull retain possession here, it's play on. As it is with Arvan picking up the interception, it's let's go back and get the scrum. Now, in many ways, that's poor from Widnes' point of view, because in the old days, had they passed the ball, advantage over. Not now.
Yep, they keep changing the rules, don't they? You had me confused there, didn't you?
I'm confused about the rules every week, Steve-O.
I can't believe how jumpy and nervous Hull look here tonight. And maybe a memory of last season when they came here and, you know, they did well in the first half last year and then it fell apart, but they do look nervous. The number of times that the ball's dropped to the floor, they've not found the man early in the game. That's unusual for a side that is as well organised and drilled as the whole outfit.
Well, my mind goes back, Phil, to the fact Tom Briscoe is a winger. He's speedy, gets open space. What does he do? He tries to step and go on the inside. He allowed Widnes chance to get back.
Yeaman is struggling in back play. He's having some attention on the run, and that's Richard Horne. And that kick is not the best. It's straight into Patrick Arvan's arms. And Yeaman just limping his way back into the defensive line here. Cameron Phelps, he'll be keener than most on the Widnes side. Put one across his former club, as will Eamon O'Carroll. There's Arvan again. Here's offside against Hull now. I tell you what, this Widnes crowd, they're vocal tonight.
Are they ever? I can assure you that Richard Silverwood is fully aware of that. And just got out of the blocks a little bit too early. He's in for a torrid time, is the man with the whistle. You're right. Sit down, Eddie. Don't let them see you.
Hock.
Ball on the field, got to get it off.
They got away with that. John Clark got away with that. It was an offload from Hock, and then Clark fingertipped it to the floor, but it went backwards, said the referee.
Well, this is where you'll see the quality of Kevin Brown. Will they do the blind side move? Will he take first receiver?
That looked like a knock-on. Anyway, they got away with it. Here is Brown. Gets it wide to Hanbury. Good defence. Good defence. Stephen Marsh just manages to stay within the field of play. Hanbury again. Ooh, they're offloading. They're taking chances. Yeaman looks like he's fully recovered. Kevin Brown again. Back it comes to Mellor, and here is Hock. They want Hock to run. The Widnes faithful. Great offload. That's 6 to go. 6 to go, surely. It's going to be a knock-on and brought back. It's going to be a knock-on and brought back. Same rule for one, same rule for the other.
Yeah. Nice move, though, by Widnes in the build-up to that. Kevin Brown was on that short blind side. Then he came around, took it back to the open, nearly confused them. This is even more pressure now for the Hull side. It's all about taking your chances, and I'm afraid I agree with Phil that Hull look extremely nervous.
Yeah, it's a bit jumpy at times. Phelps grounded 10 metres from the line. Clark anxious to get on with it, fires the pass to Mellor. Mellor then to Hanbury.
Oh, it's good defence, but it looked a bit high from O'Mealy. Got away with it, swinging arm.
Clark again, the runner is Ben Cross. Doesn't score many tries, got a couple last year, collector's items. Here is Brown attacking the line. That's what he's been brought here to do. Wants to get on with it quickly. Clark gets the ball away. And Eamon O'Carroll is so close.
Got to get the little grubber in.
It's Brown, there is the grubber kick. Bouncing everywhere, and Shannon McDonald to the rescue, runs it dead. Another set of kick coming. Dennis Betts.
And that's one of the reasons why Dennis Betts wanted this man, Kevin Brown. He knows he has the ability. Got a beautiful pair of hands in the passing department, but he knows to apply that pressure. It was a beautiful little grubber. Caused a lot of confusion in the in-goal area, and they've come up trumps. They'll get the possession back from the dropout.
It's called game management, isn't it, Steve-O? Hull FC are under an awful lot of pressure here, but Widnes, they need to start posting some points. They've been camped down here now for a number of minutes, and this is a good return from young Alex Gerrard. the youngster who's just signed a 2-year deal to stay with the Vikings.
Yes, he set them going. Heb Cahill takes it forward again. They've only faced Hull in Super League 11 times. They've won just 3, but 3 of the 5 on home ground. So all 3 wins against Hull have come on this ground. This is Cahill again, driving it forward.
Tremendous tackle by Danny Houghton, skipper tonight for the visitors. Now then, will they run the... Oh, they're trying to go on his own.
Mellor, and on all fours, he gets even closer. Houghton was the man who stopped him. Here is Clark, who finds Brown. Another dab to the in goal. And it's another knock on, is it? No, it's a penalty to Widnes.
Well, he must have got him for offside. Another pressure kick from Kevin Brown.
Yes, it is offside. That's the signal.
Well, can they withstand this? This will be a wonderful effort defensively if the visitors can keep the Widnes side out.
3 or 4 sets on the run here coming at the Hull FC defence. And Clark fires the pass to Brown, who in turn finds Mellor. Mellor then gets it wide to Hanbury. Hanbury goes wide to Paddy Flynn. He scored!
Great effort. Great effort.
All the pressure tells. And in the end, Hull simply ran out of gas. Paddy Flynn with the try, and he repeated that with a try in his 100th appearance in the win against Hull here last August. 9 tries in 21 matches last year, and that's his first of 2013.
All the possession normally brings you something, and that certainly did on that occasion. This is a tremendous effort. 3 men in attendance, and somehow he wriggles and squiggles and turns and gets there. What a finish. Control. No doubt in the mind of Richard Silverwood. Boy, look at the upper body strength. Game on. Courtesy of Paddy Flynn.
I've said before, Eddie, if this is a Super League, then you should have to do something extraordinary to score a try. Hull's defence was very impressive, and yet the bravery and skill to put points on the board for Widnes justified. That's Rugby League at its best, and it's what will make this competition so strong.
And the kick just goes the wrong side of the posts. No luck for Hanbury, but a bit of joy for Paddy Flynn and Widnes and Dennis Betts and Mick Cassidy with his right-hand man.
This is a tremendous finish. Good build-up, good combination there. The Joe Mellor, Kevin Brown, the combination at half-back, something that Dennis Betts was looking forward to.
Phil, you made a very good point before. The 12 months that Widnes spent in Super League last year was a learning curve. OK, they finished foot of the table. But you're right, and they've made some impressive signings this year. They shouldn't finish bottom on this form.
Well, if
that we've seen in the opening 20 minutes.
It will be a Super League because the competition between the top and bottom will be close and intense week after week. You know, Hull are a good side. They're a mid-table, maybe even higher point up at that stage. But really, you look at the defence, it's as good as what we saw last night. Widnes very happy with all that possession. Maybe they should feel that they're slightly in front, but they've got a chance of doing that right now.
They have with Gareth Hock, and he has support, and it's knocked backwards. And here's a chance on the counter for Shannon McDonnell of Hull. Hanbury waited for him and got the tackle in. Well, it was a bit of a risky pass by Hock. It was short. And Hock is there now to halt this latest raid. It was a tremendous break, though. Arundel goes down. He plays the ball. Here is Lynch. Lynch gets the pass in field to Paul Johnson.
Danny Houghton, will he go on his own? Throws a dummy. No, it's out wide to the left.
To Horn, to Seymour, and further wide to McDonnell. Can Widnes bundle him over the line?
Yes.
Yes, they can.
Well, the crowd in front of us here,
they're going crazy.
They've gone bananas, and that's just because of the defensive effort. There was nowhere to go there for the fullback.
Well, if your team if your crowd recognise the importance of defence, then you've got a great chance that your team will. Here's the break by Gareth Hock. He's probably nervous and anxious to find that pass, but it was great defence, wasn't it, by the Hull side to intercept that ball and counter-attack from Shannon McPherson. But again, the compliment Widnes with the recovery. So many players getting back and preventing a try in that far corner.
23 minutes gone. This is a real rugby league town, Widnes. World champions, remember, 1989 when they beat Canberra at Old Trafford. A glorious night with Davis, Devereux and company. And they're slowly but surely rebuilding for life in the Super League. Took them a long time to get back into it. Steve O'Connor backed the club. And Dennis Betts, he's worked hard during the winter.
He's put together a very fine unit, especially capturing this fella, John Clark. That is a lovely kick, and look at the chase. Not much room to move there. Oh, that's great stuff. That's a coach pleaser.
Good kick, good chase, but Hull in possession here.
Now, one of the biggest problems for Widnes last season was that on kick and chase, they used to lose the plot and give away a silly penalty, get offside or mess about at the play the ball area. The discipline has certainly improved this year under Dennis Betts, and he'll be pleased with that.
Houghton looks for Johnson. That's a high shot. Moment you mentioned discipline,
yep,
they dish out a penalty.
Yep. He'll be furious. He will be furious because Johnson would have felt that.
And that's part of Gareth Hock's game, isn't it? He can be brilliant, but he can be a penalty machine going against you.
Yep. You take the gamble.
Talking of the gamble, here come Hull. First drive in comes from Paul Johnson.
A little bit more running from this fella as well, Danny Houghton. He's doing that. That's better.
And he finds Seymour, gets the short ball away, and that's Yeaman. Averages a try over the game for Hull, does Kirk Yeaman. And there's a run from Jay Pitts, and Pitts gets them underneath the Widnes posts. Houghton will spin the ball to Seymour, who'll go short, and Galea will get over for the try. Ben Galea for Hull. They're dangerous, and they threaten every time they get near that Widnes line. And Ben Galea, a try in Hull KR's 32-26 win here last year, released by the Rovers after 5 seasons, and that's his first for the black and whites of Hull.
Yeah, silly play there from Gareth Hock. Gave them a dream position, and that is a nice run from the second row of Ben Galea. That's how you come onto a football. He just comes on the angle. Watch this, bang. Goes in between the two would-be defenders. He's got a great smile, this fella, and there's every reason to have a good smile on his face now. Came wonderfully, just slightly on the angle, in between the two would-be defenders. And he puts the visitors back in front.
Yes, the lead extended. 10-4, this kick to come to make it 12-4. And Westerman doesn't miss those.
And like I said, Eddie, you know, wherever you see Gareth Hock come onto the field of play, it's part of his package, isn't it? You just do not know what's going to happen next. He can be brilliant sometimes, and you can see there it was a nice pass, wasn't it, by Brett Seymour. He's been given a golden opportunity to get back into the swing of things. He's struggled really in this country, hasn't he, Brett Seymour? Golden opportunity tonight. That will lift his spirits. That was a nice pass, but boy, that was a nice hit as well from Gareth.
Yes, that was perfectly legal, and that's why he is so good. But he does give penalties away. He's just given one away here, and Hull have scored on the back end of it. It's Houghton again. Gets it away to Seymour, the try scorer, Galea. They're a good side, Hull, when they start to play, when they get Gareth Ellis back on the field, well, when they get Gareth Ellis on the field.
Yeah.
I think they'll be okay in 2013, I really do. And this fella just keeps going, doesn't he? Richard Horne, big kick downfield, that'll stand.
Yeah, you could see the backspin on it. They work really hard in that department. The defence is good. Leading the way, Westerman. He's finding some form.
A solid run from Arvan.
I think the biggest doubt, Eddie, about this whole side, you know, you can say safely for 60 minutes that they really are a strong outfit, and then they just seem to fade at times, don't they? Oh, that was forward. He didn't expect that, Kevin Brown.
Did well to hang on.
Yeah, didn't want it.
Clark again finds Hock, finds Hanbury. No forward though, and Whiting saw to that. Here comes the last tackle for Widnes. Goes high off the boot of Mellor. Easily underneath it is Lynham. He was impressive last week, this young man, against Warrington. Only 21 years of age. Deserves to hold on to his place. Here's McDonald.
Yes, he's certainly got a good future, this fella. He only knows one way, doesn't he? Straight. No finesse. Bang, give it to me.
But that's what you want, Steve. You want your winger to catch the ball on the full and just win that first play. It makes it so much easier for the bigger men who are coming onto the balls, like to Danny Tickle here.
Yes, Tickle to his feet, plays it. That was Aaron Herremeier. That's Seymour with the kick.
It's a good one
space.
too.
It is. It means that Hanbury has to run it back and get away from all these chasers. Oh, he does well.
Does he ever? Quick play of the ball. Should have been a penalty there.
Well, Danny Tickle held on to the ankle, and Danny Tickle was offside as well. Wasn't standing square. Good offload. Another good offload. Bit risky in your own quarter, but they got away with it.
Boy, that was a big hit. He felt that. He felt that, did Hanbury. He's not well. That was a real big hit on the rib cage. Watch this. Boom. Oof.
Great tackle by Lynham. And Clark with a clearing kick downfield, and underneath it is Tom Briscoe.
Took it well. A little bit laboured, that chase. And there's a problem for the fullback, Reece Hanbury. Looks as though he's okay.
Galea with a solid run. Still inside their own half, though.
Oh, that's a high shot. Got away with it.
Johnson will have felt that. And it was Ben Kavanagh who went a bit high. That's better from him. Jay Pitts going nowhere, only to ground on halfway. Here's Herremeier again. And Seymour finds Galea, who finds McDonald, who gets it to Yeeman. And this is the last tackle coming up for the black and whites of Hull.
Needs some height.
Oh, they've got it. They've got plenty of height. Arvan, the last line of defence, claims it well. Whoa! Well, we're seeing some risky stuff tonight, aren't we?
What a great hit there by Ben Galea. Boy, when he puts himself around, they know, don't they? Oh, they've got the lucky break. Got out of the traps just a touch too early.
It was offside against Hull.
It's a good game, isn't it? Very few errors, good skill. That nice mix between risk and reward, people taking chances at times. Back in the skill that they've worked on for months here since the last season finished. Paddy Flynn keeps it alive, and as a result of taking that chance, they get a penalty. You see, really now the Widnes defence has been outstanding, and it's really kept them in this game, even though Hull have made a lot of good meters. Widnes' defence, pretty impressive.
Yes, as you say, good contest this, after just over half an hour. They beat London in round one. They put up a great fight here against the Saints' 2-week break because the Leeds involvement in the World Club Challenge for Widnes. And it's allowed a little bit of time to prepare for the arrival of Kevin Brown. Here is Gareth Hock again, meanwhile. Horn halted him.
Brown's the key. Who will he bring? Probably Hanbury in late. The fullback wasn't there, though.
Another loose pass. They lose a bit of momentum. Can Joe Mellor get it back for them? No, he goes down on the last tackle. And Clark, with a bit of time, pumps it high into the air.
This is difficult.
They got away with it. Lynham comes away with the ball.
Well, he certainly didn't appear to contest it, did he? It just sort of popped up nice and steady for him.
There was a flap at it by Kevin Brown. He didn't get put off, though, Tom Lynham. Westerman again.
Go, third.
Heremiah gets the ball away to Johnson. There is Seymour and McDonald again.
Move. Go.
Heremiah once more. Scampering run from the New Zealander.
Good move by Peter Gentle. He needs a little bit more sparkle at the play the ball area. He'll get that with Heremiah.
Off the boot of Seymour again. High once more.
Whoa, great take.
Well claimed. Rhys Hanbury. Scrum half in the first two. Started full back in the win against London in round one. So scrum half in the last two rather than the first two.
Confident take, wasn't it? But that's good defence. At times, the defence on both sides, Peter Gentle, Dennis Betts, will be happy.
Hark got the ball away to Phelps. Phelps really going down a blind alley. He shouted held. He shouted held, and then the ball was released. Of course, the crowd who are on his back can't hear that.
Tackle 3. Give it. 4.
Kevin Brown comes in field, and he finds Lloyd White, who in turn finds Alex Gerrard, and this is the 5th and last tackle. Now then, the kick from Hanbury. How good is it?
Oh, it's a belter.
Well, McDonald positioned himself well in the end. Shows it to Briscoe. McDonald takes it on himself. Down he goes under the challenge from Stephen Marsh.
Back with me.
I'm going to pay a lot of tribute to this whole side. That nearly every time that Widnes has put the kick and chase, they've been able to get into the Widnes half, and that means he can control it. They've got to improve the kicking game somewhat, though. They've tried the high bomb on a couple of occasions. Maybe you're better off just shoving it into the corner. Play for field position.
Move.
That's a penalty, Gareth Hogg. He won't let go of Joe Westerman's leg, and he tries to spin him round, and the referee, Richard Silverwood, he spots that. You can see he takes him to the ground, then he tries to spin him round, so his head's facing his own try line.
Just silly play.
Back with me.
Lack of composure, I'm afraid.
Well, this could signal danger again for the Widnes defence, because every time they seem to concede a penalty, they go on and they concede a try. 12-4 to Hull, 4.5 to go to half-time. Here they come again with Heremiah. That's good tackling. That's a great tackle. Kevin Brown. Westerman. And this is Horn. Dragging the player back on the inside for the run. Heremiah again. Clark came out to meet him. Found Horn. Seymour. The pass is intercepted. And away he goes. Paddy Flynn. This kid's quick.
Don't catch it.
This guy's quick. That's a great try from one end of the field to the other. Well, Seymour's pass was a gift. And Paddy Flynn, I don't think he could believe it. He got the ball in his hands, he looked up and he saw nobody at home. And away he went. And did you notice as he went to place the ball down, he gave it a little peck. Just a little kiss. Couldn't believe it. Second try for Paddy Flynn and his 60th try in 106 games. What a return.
Well, Peter Gentle will be furious about this. Absolutely furious that it was just thrown away. Brett Seymour, it was a very poor pass indeed. Surely he could have seen that the winger had come in. And give full credit to Tom Lynham. He tried his damnedest. But this is very negative play. It just wasn't on. The pass should have been right to the winger. And here comes Lynham out of nowhere. I didn't think he'd get anywhere near him, but at least it touched him. He kisses the ball and puts it down. It's game on. Surely there's only 2 points. We'll separate them after this man kicks the conversion.
Well, Arvan takes them bang in front, and Rhys Hanbury takes them out on the wing. Arvan scores, and Widnes are back in it, 10-12.
Eddie, it's a brilliant skill. Like, knowing that you're outnumbered, you've got to put yourself in a position to take that. He gets the ball, he steps off his right, he beats Shannon McDonald, and all he does, he pins his ears back, he sees Tom Lineman coming up, and he just has the pace to get there to score the try just before half-time. And this is a dangerous time. You can see Richard Horn giving his teammates a bit of a serve. I'm not so sure whether Brett Seymour should have threw that speculator.
Well, I'll tell you what else happened 12 months ago. When Widnes scored just a couple of minutes before half-time when they played here last season, they went back-to-back, Eddie. In less than 60 seconds, they scored again. And this has to be the concentration for the whole side here now, approaching half-time. With Widnes playing so confidently, and with the pace of players like Finn, the whole concentration has to be great.
Yes, it does, and Gareth Holt has the ball in hand. In just a moment, this might turn ugly in a second. He didn't like that from Westerman. He'll play the ball on halfway. The temper is kept under control. Well, Brett Seymour will not want to look at that pass again on the DVD. I think he might be forced to. Oh, that's a poor ball from Cameron Phelps.
Just at a time when they knew that they had the opposition full of nerves. It should have been a high kick. Apply pressure. That's poor. You could see that they had numbers marked up.
Steve-O, they're going short side because they think there's a weakness. They think that Hull FC switch off on the blind side. That's why they're going down that short side. 5 metres you've got to play with. That shows that you're confident. Whether the pass is on or not, to even try and come up with that skill shows that you're still a confident side.
So Hull, as we approach the final minute of this first half, they will try and stretch the lead again just before the interval.
Well, Peter Gentle knows that they should have been just camped down there, just coast your way through to the half-time mark. In the end, they just conceded 6 points that they could have done without.
Here is Johnson, but not much progress made forward in that run. Jeremiah. The forward pass. I don't think it was Seymour's. I think it was Jeremiah's.
Yes, it was. It could have been a combination of both, Eddie. They're doing that very in and out, in and around the play the ball area.
There's the forward pass.
Yeah. And
that might have been a touch forward as well. You're right. Yeah. 6 and 2 threes.
There's absolutely nothing in this game. Is that the second half? It's going to come down to attitude and who wants it the most. Both teams have equal skill. What you think is going to go for the kick here, Steve-O?
Kick and chase. That's what I'd do.
Well, with a fellow as speedy as Paddy Flynn, he might be right, but when he called held, they've given them a penalty because they kept the push going and they.
Well, he's got them for pulling.
Well, I think he shouted held, and then he gave them the penalty because Hull had the second effort. They get to him here, and then he shouts held, and then, well, you're right. There was a drag by Seymour. Now then, will they pump it up in the air this time?
Get it up in the air!
Well, along the ground then. Oh, and he says, let's get out of here. Shannon McDonald was taking no chances then. Well, good stuff. And they are thrilled, the Widnes fans, with what they've seen. And so they should be, because over the past 12 months, their development has been astronomical.